Well, hello everybody, welcome to this update number 9, blimey. And as you can maybe see, if I lower the camera down a little bit, it's not a very nice day, and you can probably hear the rain pattering on the conservatory roof. So no work out there today, but if I turn the camera around, I'll tell you what I am going to do. Sorry. It's a Sunday, and I've just been on Hot Dog Andy's live stream, which he did earlier today. So that's going to sort of tell you when I'm filming this. And he did it early because Anthony Dodge is going to one of the rail shows in America and doing a live stream, which I might try and get on. I'll have to see, but I want to do this. So yeah, number 9. And really, I have actually got a bit of track out, as you saw on the thumbnail. So this episode is basically going to be on doing these under track uncouplers from these under track couplers from Kadee, and I've got one fitted, which is what the picture you saw was, and I'll show you how it works first, and then I'll do a bit of video on how I've done it. Now there are many ways of doing this, but I didn't want to have to take this out there, especially in this weather, to do it, to save the muck. So the easiest way is to router it, have a little router and router out, and maybe have a jig so that you can just do them fairly quickly, which is what I would have done at work. But I haven't got a little router, I've got a big router. But the thing with routers is it makes a lot of mess, very fine mess. And MDF is not a great stuff. It is, I mean, it's lovely for what I want to do here, but one advantage of it is it's layered to a certain extent. Now the surface is very hard, so that's why I bought the new tool, the Dremel, to help me get through that layer. So let's turn the camera around and I'll explain a little bit more. But thank you for coming, and I hope you're going to follow me as I carry on now, because it's actually now starting to build something. So here's my little train that you saw in the thumbnail, and the reason I had this is I wanted to try the new uncoupler which I've installed here, and I've got no power to this track, so the only way I can show it is using my push along Ginty. No motor in this, it went. So I'll move the camera in a bit closer and we can have a look. So if I use the hand of God to move these wagons back, and as you can see, most of them have got the Hornby close coupling, what's the name, which is okay. I mean, it doesn't couple up very well, I must admit, but you can sort it. And what we're going to do is we're now going to put over a couple of the Kadees in these ones, and I'll go right past, and as you can see it stayed, and if I go past again it stayed. But if I come back even at the very beginning of this plate and do a shuffle, it does actually part very easily. And then when I bring it back together again, because these are delayed action, it will actually push it back, and I can move forward and leave the truck there. But if I then come back again, it all couples up and we're fine, as you saw there. But equally it will do it here, so just there, and it's really easy. I think this is going to be a lot easier to do when you're controlling it with the controller than it was with the in-track ones that I had before. So here we are, everybody. I've removed the train and the track, and you can see the let-in one, which has worked very well along with this little router. So I'm going to move into these tools and just explain a little bit. So here's another one of these ready to go into another place, and I basically use the knife, the Dremel with this cutting disc in, the chisel and this router, and maybe sometimes just this ruler to get a straight line. And also, because I want to keep it as clean as possible, dustpan and brush and the little vacuum cleaner. And that's all I'm basically going to use. Now, the beauty of doing it this way is it doesn't make a lot of dust. The most dust will come from this. Although, to be honest, a cutting disc would have been, or rather a little mini saw would have been better for this. But I don't seem to get it in any of the kit that I've got. So I'm using what you would probably do to cut track. So it does tend to burn rather than cut, I think, but it does work. And the reason I want to use this, and the reason I bought it, is the MDF is quite hard. The first part of the surface is quite hard, and if I get another little bit of it, which I've got somewhere, so I found my little bit. Now it's not easy to see, but basically there's a skin on here which is quite hard and dense, and then when you go in between, the sandwich part of it is not as dense and is sort of layered. So I wanted the Dremel so that I can get through here fairly easily without having to bang with the chisel. And yes, you can knife it, but I thought the Dremel might be better. Now the only obviously bit that doesn't work very well is when it gets to the corner, i.e. sort of here, you know, it can't go unless you ran it past, which I don't want to do. It would be, you know, you've got to chisel that out, but you can do it gently, which I'll show in the demo in a minute. So the other thing I'd like to show you, and I'm going to have to lower the camera, is the how much we've got to play with. So here we have that little bit of MDF that I showed you, which is the same thickness as we're working with, and the uncoupler with its metal plate on the bottom. And as you can see by the ruler there, we only have about 4 mil of thickness after this is let in flush. So it's not an awful lot of thickness. So I probably will be strengthening it underneath at some stage. Probably with a bit of MDF stuck to it, I would think. We'll see how we go. So the one I'm going to fit is the one here. Hopefully that will work pretty well. So this is actually, if you remember, sort of between the points to a certain extent, and it did seem to work reasonably well with the surface mounted one, but I'm hoping it'll be a lot better here. So I'm going to let that in the same as I've done with the other one, and speed up and slow down as needed. Okay everybody, so hope you'll enjoy watching that, and we'll see how we go. And then once I've done this one, I've only got another 4 to do. So the first thing to do is to sort of hold it where you want it, and then I'd knife it round just to sort of get a proper position for it, because what I marked was, you know, roughly sort of thing with a black marker pen. Just being careful with your fingers. So yeah, and you know, this MDF is so hard that it doesn't really, you know, go very far in. So as you can see, you can break the cutters. I got a good few of them, so luckily I was okay. So clearing the decks a bit, get the router out of the way, and then chisel it, just to sort of get that edge, you know, where you're done. Now, with the later ones, I did actually do this as soon as I'd knifed it, which I found a little bit better. I could see where I was working. So then a case of sort of cleaning out the corners as much as you could, and then I thought I'd give it a good clean now, so I'd give it a sweep. So I got the vacuum cleaner on it this time, did I? I don't think I did. No. So just trying to see if I'm in the ballpark with the size. It can be a little bit out, obviously, you know. It can be a bit difficult. So knife it a bit more. And then carry on. So then I thought I'd try seeing if the router would work at this stage, and I found it was still a bit hard under there, so let me chisel out again and carry on with that. So then another clean up, and this time I did decide to use the little vacuum cleaner because it was getting a little bit deeper, and as you can see it leaves quite a bit of brush in the bottom now. And yeah, worked quite well. So yeah, another disc needed out of this little pot, which came in the extra one I bought, so I'm glad I bought it. And as you can see, they're pretty bloody thin, aren't they? And yeah, okay, not too bad at all. And as I say, I got quite a few, so it's just as well. And yeah, it's pretty easy to put on, you know, just unscrew and then screw that back up. I found it, you know, I'd rather not break them, but you know, you're going to. And also, I'm not really using them for what they're designed for, I don't suppose. So, yeah, they work well. I'm glad I had it, let's put it that way. And really, it's just a case of working your way down, you know, until you get the right depth. Now, when you get a bit deeper, you can use the little router. So it's once you've got it down to the right depth, at least you think you have, it's a case of trying it in. And the thing is, don't make it tight. You want to be able to get it out easily. So it's a case of just prising away with the chisel and vacuum out and doing what you need to do. So the depth is the most important. Around the outside, it doesn't matter too much. So this is it going to fit? And yes, it did. So pleased with this. So that's the second one near enough done. I didn't glue any of it. You get quite a bit of muck out of the small hole really. And yes, it was all nice and flush. Looked good. Great. And you can get them out by just using steel wool and then pull it out. So then I got that little bit of track out and just tried to line it up with where the track would be and see how they go. I don't really want it to lose it there, but it does seem to. But I'm happy. It's going to be fairly easy to uncouple them, which is the important bit, I think. So I did all the rest. So there they are. There's the one into the station for uncoupling and running around the train. Now I've still got one obviously to do. And these are all the discs that I broke. But it wasn't too bad. I've still got loads left. And then what's this? This might be for the next part of the update. So let's see how we go. So thank you to all the new subscribers that have joined. And the next one next Friday again.